Google, how many manufacturers are there for IV fluid?
Okay.
Maybe Germany's got 10 of them.
Yeah, there's also global suppliers.
But I'm just taken aback by this. I'm somewhat taken aback by this.
I think most people are, Joe.
There are 4 primary manufacturers of IV fluids in the U.S. Baxter, the leader, accounting for about 60% of the market. The company is the main supplier of Mass General Brigham in Boston, which uses more than 100,000, blah, blah, blah. We didn't need that part. But there are 4, and they have 60% of the market, it appears.
Well, then call up the other 3.
Have them make more.
And say, let's go here.
Backorder.
So when 60% of the market share is basically depleted?
No, I tell you what's going to do. FEMA's going to roll in, and they're going to stop all production while they take inventory.
Right. Okay,
and then you can submit your applications, and sometime in the next 6 months.
The no controversy is a better example of the confusion wrought by social media than this FEMA controversy. Are they or are they not helping people in desperate straits in North Carolina? And we learn a number of things that one of the very few worthy things on the television websites in town is the verify section on Care 11 of all people. They have a section called Verify. And every day they have 2 things that are verified. And today it was, no, FEMA isn't giving people impacted by Hurricane Helene just $750. A FEMA program offers victims $750, but it's not FEMA's only program. Hurricane Helene survivors can apply for many others. And then we go on in this verification to learn one type of assistance that is often approved quickly is serious needs assistance, which is $750. Which would help pay for food, water, baby formula, medication. FEMA says on its rumor response webpage, there are other forms of assistance you may qualify to receive once you apply for disaster assistance. As your application continues to be reviewed, you may still receive additional forms of assistance for other needs, such as support for temporary housing or home repair costs. Serious needs assistance was one of 2 disaster relief programs FEMA began offering this year after it added new benefits and made it easier for disaster survivors to apply for help. The other new program is displacement assistance, which pays for a victim's hotel or motel stay while they work on their long-time housing plan. And then we go on to learn they have many, many other programs they offer. Now, the other so let's put the 700. We all had fun with that, me included. I said $750. That's it? But $750 is just one of many aspects, apparently, of FEMA's relief operation. Now, the other controversy is, has FEMA been funneling money to illegal immigrants?
I hope not.
In place of Americans in dire straits. And the best I can come up with is John Claude Killey has been caught in a lie.
I have the audio if you'd like it.
Do you have the comparison audio?
October of 2024 versus September of 2022.
Okay, what's the first one we're going to hear?
October of 2024.
Okay, here's the most recent from Karine Jean-Pierre.
It's just categorically false. No, Biden did not take FEMA relief money to use on migrants. So FEMA regional administrators have been meeting with city officials on site to coordinate available federal support from FEMA and other federal agencies. Funding is also available through FEMA's emergency food and shelter program to eligible local governments and non-for-profit organizations upon request to support humanitarian relief for migrants.
Okay, so the latter was from
2022.
2022. What are we supposed to make of this?
The second one was the fund that they already said is separate from the fund for disaster relief.
But it still came from FEMA.
Well,
Yeah, but FEMA apparently is set up to be that long-reaching.
yeah, it's two separate streams of money. It always has been. And it's funded differently, actually.
Well, okay.
No, this is driven by Twitter. This is driven by someone saying, I'm trapped in my house. I've been here for 2 weeks, and FEMA keeps giving me the finger. And then everybody says, oh, my, look at the way. Believe me, I'm no fan of the government. I don't think they can do anything right. But in this case, I'm hard-pressed to find the corruption or the conspiracy. I can't find the corruption or the conspiracy. If you have it, I'm more than happy to hear about it.
I have it.
All right.
Those two items you just brought up are fun talking points for people who aren't in the hills of North Carolina right now. You just made reference to people in North Carolina in the hills. They don't have communication. They don't give a shit about $750. They don't care about illegal immigrants. They care about their dead mother hanging in the tree or the baby that was in the house that washed down the creek and is now gone, and they're sitting there in the same clothes they were wearing a week ago. All they care about is getting relief right now, today. And FEMA, when they finally showed up on the ground there, got in the way of all the locals that were doing the rescue.
How do we know that?
Because, again, I know it's on Twitter, you don't like it, because of video and testimonials from people who are there, who are trying to save these people, who are flying in their own helicopters. FEMA has swooped in and taken over their operations. And now the only way that if you're going to donate something, you have to donate it to a church, because FEMA and the government can't do anything about churches. Otherwise, they collect it, they put it in their warehouse, they take inventory, and then they keep detailed lists of who gets what. And that's not how it works right now. Right now, we're still in the emergency stage, and people are being saved and flown out, and generators and saws and things are being flown in. There's no roads. You can't drive on the roads, so it's hiking and mules that are saving these people. It's a ground effort. It's Americans helping Americans, and FEMA is in the way. FEMA should roll in and say, we're here. What can we do to help you guys? What can we do to back you up? Instead, they're doing the opposite. That's what the problem with FEMA is.
And it's going to happen again. Or something's going to happen again.
Because here comes another one.
This one's called Milton, I think.
Milton, yep.
And Milton's supposed to be a doozy.
But it looks like it's, because I saw the path of it this morning, isn't it basically going to hit mostly Florida?
Yeah.
I thought that's what I saw this morning. Okay, can we go back to the discussion about the two sound bites from KGP? Mm-hmm. You have to admit, though, that, well, two quick things. You have to admit that, number one, we have taken on how many millions of illegals over the past couple of years?
Quite a few.
On the government dime, correct? We're all in agreement there?
Yeah.
And the optics of that money coming from FEMA, when our own people, as Kenny just put out there, the optics are horrible.
Here's another problem that's overriding, and it can affect everything. The government just keeps spending money on anything it wants to, and we always seem to have money. In other words, it makes no difference to whoever's running this country that we're $30 trillion in debt. Every day there's a new hundreds and hundreds of millions sent somewhere. Mm-hmm. It just makes no difference that this country is in $30 trillion in debt. the debt payments on the interest are what? Equal to our national domestic product? We can't keep up with this, but no one seems to care.
Right.
It never gets talked about.
We think
Has
we're too big to fail.
Trump and or Harris ever mentioned the debt?
He did. I had
Only when they're pointing fingers at the other one.
I don't have the story up, but yeah, there was a story about Trump and his plans for the debt. I'll find it.
Was there a FEMA before Katrina? Because it seems like every time this country has a disaster, we end up with new multi-layered bureaucracies.
Didn't we talk about this last week? It's been around for 20, 30 years.
Homeland Security, and now its offshoot of 15 agencies, is the result of 9/11.
Yep.
There wasn't Homeland Security before then.
And what did we
It
say?
was-
Carter started FEMA?
Yeah, that's
Maybe it was
Matthew,
Carter, yeah.
1979. Yep. Yep.
And I'm sure it was started with sound intentions. But what happens, the government is so big and so preposterously layered and redundant that, John, just for the hell of it, maybe it's doable. Under FEMA, is there some sort of spreadsheet or chart that would show how many agencies are under the wing of FEMA?
Okay.
And remember, FEMA started 23 years ago, post 9/11.
No,
I was
1979.
going to say it was before that.
I'm sorry. Homeland Security. Security.
Right.
I guess I meant look how many agencies are under the auspices of Homeland Security. Right now, sitting in front of the Walz house, which he doesn't own, and we have to pay for, it's the University of Minnesota house where he thinks he's living. I saw him again, arrive Saturday night. I think it was him. 4 cop cars, lights flaring.
Did you stop by and say hi?
Chevy SUVs, the whole deal. But where was I? Oh,
FEMA.
At that house, there's got to be 3 or 4 different functions of the Secret Service and Homeland Security. I bet you.
Yeah.
Homeland Security has U.S. Customs and Border Protection, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, U.S. Secret Service, U.S. Coast Guard, Transportation Security Agency, Federal Protective Services, Federal Law Enforcement Training Center's Office of Security and Professional Responsibility, Office of the Chief Security Officer, and Federal Emergency Management Agency's Mount Weather Police Department, FEMA. All of those under Homeland Security.
Right. And so there's nowhere for the buck to stop. There's no way to go into North Carolina and accuse FEMA of anything because FEMA will deflect.
That's what they're doing.
They'll
Yeah.
deflect and say, "No, this is Bob's running that department." Then you go to Bob and he'll say, "No, I'm not."
Sounds like politicians.
They're actually
Well, it
playing
is.
the,
It's too political.
yeah, they're playing the victim at this point, Joe. You're right.
Did you ever get